you know?
With Instagram and all these offers they get to fly around the world and all these things, women don't want to have kids, or they want to have kids later because they have a lot more options. I agree with you. But would you argue, if you were to look at it selflessly, not about the ant, but about the ant farm at large, that keeping women's horizons more narrow so they focused on rearing children would be better for society than the current society we're in, where we have to import a whole bunch of fuck knows who's into the country to try and maintain a population because the white people aren't even having any fucking kids because the white women are too busy sucking dicks in Magaloo? Did you understand that?
To a certain degree, but I also couldn't give a shit. The world's going to shit anyway, so whether or not we've got more kids in it or not, it's fucked regardless. So just live your life the best. You're going to be dead in however many years anyway.
Fair.
So don't stress too much.
Fair. And this is why
I like that mindset. Because, you know what? I have always... There are some decisions of things I did where I regret, right? But I think the pain of not doing something because of fear is worse than the pain of making a mistake. And I'd say when I look back on my life, like, for example, getting demonetized, I kind of got a big ego and I thought that I just couldn't be stopped. And the pain of getting like demonetized and kicked off all these platforms, I would say was not as bad as the pain I would have felt if I didn't push it to the limit, so to speak. Now there's things I could have done to like be smarter about it, but the way she's looking at life, it's unfortunate that what she chose to do with that mindset is have sex with 1,000 men. But people need to care about the next generation. Well, okay. You don't have the time to save the world. And so a couple of years ago, I interviewed a very, very controversial person. I never released this interview because I just didn't want those type of problems, if I'm being honest. But this person was an older guy, and he explained to me his worldview. And from my point of view, his worldview, I understood why he thought the way that he did. He brought facts, he brought evidence, whatever. And by all accounts, maybe he was right. But listening to him, and I saw videos of this guy when he was younger, he was just so much more like coherent and clear. And it was almost like he went crazy because, you know what, guys, doing this stuff kind of makes you a little bit crazy. It's I don't want to complain. It's just part of the job, but you almost like second guess. You might say something that seems normal, but you just second guess it because you're like, am I going nuts? You know, because everyone's screaming at you, you know. But anyways, what it taught me interviewing this guy was even if you're correct, you will go crazy trying to save the world. You'll go insane. It's why, I mean, why do you think those like protesters that get run over by cars? And I've talked to, I know somebody that's gone to some of those protests on the left, and from his worldview, he's saving the planet. He's saving the world. But what I've found is that when you want to save the world, usually something's off in your personal life. Because the most like good and well-rounded people I know, and just balanced, I guess you could say, they're not overly concerned with the world. They're concerned with making their life great and affecting their personal relationships. You know, what's important to them is making sure their kids are good, making sure their friends are good. But a lot of times when people want to save the world, it's because they don't have a lot of close interpersonal relationships. They're saying the narcissists in your life are draining you. It's not necessarily. I wouldn't really say that. It's just, I think when you get older, you get a little more perspective.
Like about Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue is my favorite. This is my favorite.
Yeah, every cult says they're saving the world. And I actually think the most grounded people are the people that don't vote. And they just focus on fixing their life. Now, I've always voted. Well, actually, I think the first election I didn't. But it was because I had finals. I didn't, and I was like, I'm in Illinois. What? I know how this is going to go. There's only one that can save the world. Yeah, like Jesus. I mean, Jesus couldn't change people's minds. Who are you? And I didn't interview George Soros, but maybe if you guys join my members only community, I'll show you guys the video. But I'd have to really trust you because I can't, that cannot get out ever. But Tate's wasted like 3 years of his life on this stuff. Was it really worth it?
I think fair. Because what you just said, I understand and I agree with.
But it's selfish.
But what have I said?
Why should I not be selfish? Why should I give a shit about someone else?
But do you know what? Life begins at the black pill. That's what I'll say. Life for me personally, it got way better once I got black pilled. Because then it's like you're in the acceptance phase. You're in the phase where, okay, this is the way the world is going and there is nothing that I can do about it. I can do my best to affect change, but in the long run, there's nothing that I can do. How do I move and operate in the way that the world is today? Life begins at that. And you guys don't have to believe me, but life really does begin when you just accept and prepare accordingly.
Who's into the country to try and maintain a population because the white people aren't even having any fucking kids because the white women are too busy sucking dicks in Magaloo.
Did you understand that?
To a certain degree, but I also couldn't give a shit. The world's going to shit anyway. So whether or not we've got more kids in it or not, it's fucked regardless. So just live your life the best. You're going to be dead in however many years anyway.
Fair.
So don't stress too much.
Fair. And this is what I like about Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue is my favorite. This is my favorite everything. Fair. Because what you just said, I understand and I agree with.
But it's selfish.
But what have I said?
Why should I not be selfish? Why should I give a shit about someone else that pays less tax than me, sits and complains, makes shitty TikToks about me? Like, I couldn't give a shit if your life's going to shit. By the looks of it, you live in a council house, you've got a couple of kids with different dads. I don't care. So why should I sit there and think, fuck, I should do something to help you? I don't care. I should focus on myself. And if more people did that, the world would actually be a better place. But they become so fixated on other people. I'm like...
And I actually agree with that. I agree. Because what are my choices here? I can spend, time bitching about Bonnie Blue, or I can think, okay, how can I be a better... Okay, I'll give you an example. I'm learning piano right now. So I'd really like to get good enough to the point where I could play gigs. And I've been putting so many hours into this. Like I do lessons pretty much every day for like 2 hours. Hour piano, hour guitar. And that's selfish, right? That's focusing on me. But if I get really good, I'd really love to go to like old folks' homes and like play for an hour. Do you know what I mean? I'd love, like, I love old people. They're hilarious. Or I'd love to, like, if there's a wedding in my family or something, play at one. Now you have a musician in the family. And sometimes by focusing on yourself, in the long run, you're able to help other people later. Yeah, integrity is its own. And I'm not saying to do the wrong thing, but the world is going to try to extract as much, and not as much, especially for you men. They try to extract as much out of you and give you nothing in return.